What's going on, everybody? It's Bill Bailey with today's Boondoggle. And real quick housekeeping note, if you're watching us on YouTube or the Rumble channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you're listening to us on whatever podcast platform you're using, please hit that follow and subscribe button. Help us build up our numbers, get these interviews out there like the one I'm about to have right now with Mr. Damon Clark of the band Eerie Weather. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just woke up not that long ago.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're out in what, Arizona?
Yeah. So it's 9:30 here.
9:30. All right. Yeah, it's 12:30 here in Cleveland, and but you know, I always hear like good things about the weather out in Arizona, except for that it gets hot. So I don't know how eerie it gets, But and I live over here in Cleveland by Lake Erie, and it gets pretty eerie. But we'll get into all that, I guess. But first of all, like when I have somebody on for the first time, I like to get a little background. So, like, originally, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Honestly, I think pretty much for most of my childhood, I wanted to be a musician. I think in like middle school, I wanted to be a pro skateboarder, and then I got hurt really bad, and I was like, I don't think skating is for me. So I just was like, I'll go back to music. That works.
Yeah, I used to have a bunch of friends that did like the BMX bikes and the quarter pipe and all that stuff. And it's like I wanted to be a part of it. I kept begging my parents for a really nice bike. And first time I tried doing a trick and wiped out and bailed, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah. Some people can take it.
Yeah.
I can't though. Like I'm with you on that one. I like did really good. I like was really good at learning tricks, but like I took I can't even remember. I think we were skating like a half pipe, and I just fell really bad because it was like an outside half pipe, and so a rock was obviously there, and I just biffed it really bad, scraped up my whole back, and I was like, I don't like that. I'm not doing that. Nope.
Yeah. Especially if you end up on one of those YouTube videos that go viral,
Yeah.
Yeah. Deal with
thank God this is like a little bit before. Yeah.
And then when was it that that music kind of caught your eye, and like what do you recall any particular like band or song or whatever that caught you?
Yeah, well, so as far as like I just always really was intrigued with writing music and the whole process. Like I think the first musician I ever became like just infatuated with was Kurt Cobain. I just thought his songwriting was crazy, and I couldn't process in my brain how to start, like how does somebody make that happen. And then like once I figured that part out, the thing that like inspired me to want to be in a band was Motley Crue. Like I remember when I was a kid, the behind the music of Motley Crue came out, and it's like super cheesy, but it's awesome. I was like, whoa, these guys look like they're having like the funnest time of their life. So I think I actually want to do that. Watching it now though, I'm like, it doesn't seem like they were having that much fun. They had some, but like they were dying.
Yeah, exactly. You read about like I don't know how much VH1 would put out there, that the dirt ended up,
Right.
revealing along the way,
Oh yeah.
And then when was it that you actually started picking up an instrument and playing?
So I got my first guitar in like 4th grade for Christmas. It's just like, I don't know. Do you still have Sears where you're at?
A lot of them are closing down. Yeah.
Yeah. So like Sears used to sell like the cheapest instruments ever. They're like $50 acoustic guitars that were like this big, and like electric guitars that were also like that big. And so I got that in like 4th grade, and then like paused on that in like 6th grade to start skating. Got hurt 7th grade, and then like I convinced my other skateboarding friends, like, hey guys, you don't want to do that either. Let's just start like a band. That'd be way cooler. Girls will like that too.
Nice. And then so you got some of your friends together, and that was like your first official like band?
Yeah. Yeah, we were just a bunch of skateboarding kids that had no idea what we were doing.
Kind of learn as you went too, like
Yeah.
self-taught, or did you get
Yeah.
lessons? Or
No, no, we were all self-taught. I think the most like lessons any of us got was the drummer of that particular band was like really good at Guitar Hero drums. So we were like, this guy could do it. He
yeah,
gets it.
nice. And then as as your love evolved or whatever, like when did you start like writing your own music?
Um, I think I really started to write my own music probably like freshman year of high school. I mean, it wasn't good, but like I was like, all right, we learned some Blink 182 covers. We learned some Avenged Sevenfold covers. All right, like I want to do my own thing now. Like so I started picking up the guitar and just started playing like one note each and like I would write songs to that and just kind of evolved since then.
Nice. And usually I forgot to ask, but it's always good to hear some of the names of bands when people are starting out in high school that they think are the greatest name ever. So what was the name of that first band you started?
Oh, oh boy. So the first name was oh god, it was Last Call for Suicide. We were definitely like an emo band.
Yeah.
Um, and then that transformed into Midnight Curse, which is better. Um, and then once I stopped being a band with those guys, I went into Transit Wonderland, and then that evolved into the Black Hollow.
Nice. And that was all through high school?
That was all through high school.
So by the time like and you said you started like really writing your own stuff your freshman year, so then by the time senior year came around, it's like you knew what you wanted to pursue after high school, right? It
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
like, you know, I got to go to school for this or I got to go work at this factory or something like that.
Yeah.
He knew that you're going to chase after this. How much would you say you evolved during your time in high school, and like how much of that is like you said, I mean, self-taught?
Oh man, I a lot. Like it was something that I was, just working on constantly. Like every day, even when I was in school, like I wasn't paying attention. I was like writing lyrics and like trying to understand, just the concept of music. Like I think high school I took like one one semester of a guitar class and they taught me like the very basics of finger picking and I was like, got it. That's all I need. Uh but like yeah, it just every day and it evolved so much. Like I I still like I'm so thankful I did all that now because it's just growing and growing over time too. You know?
Yeah. And then like reading music is like almost like learning another language and stuff. So when did that um did you take any classes for that, or is that all self-taught as well?
I took so I had a music class in like fourth grade. I took violin, so I like kind of learned that. And then in high school when I started playing guitar a little bit more, I just figured out how to read tabs, and and that was kind of it. Ever since then, I don't even think I could read sheet music now. If I tried, I'd be like, what?
And then so high school's done, and you're still playing with your friends, I assume. What was like the music scene like there in Arizona? Were you hitting how did you get like on shows, start performing
um,
with people?
well, so I'd kind of by senior year, I had switched schools, and a lot of my friends had moved out of the city. So I was looking for new friends, and around that time, this band, they're now defunct, but this band Get Scared was looking for a vocalist because their singer had quit, and I put a a video online, and it actually went pretty viral, like really crazy. That video is now taken down because I'm insanely embarrassed by it. But I got introduced to people that lived here because I hadn't really even been in the music scene here. Like, I didn't even know any of that. Really, like, I had just been in the little clique with my friends in my little side of town that was like really punk rocky, just like house shows basically. But when I met people that were actually actively involved in the local scene here, it was like super metalcore. And so it was just like, all right, I guess I got to find like the best of the metalcore bands because I wasn't a big metalcore fan. And I found these guys that were in this band, To Believe in Ghosts, and I joined them like very shortly. I played a few shows with them, but I ended up like poaching all those guys and being like, hey, I'm starting this like little less metalcore band. So come join me. And so in doing that and in starting that project, The Black Hollow, was more in line with like a Black Veil Brides, My Chemical Romance type vibe. So we were able to take more of those shows here because most of the time it would just be like the same three bands that were like kind of on that verge. But because we were more poppy, we could take any show, and we had solos and breakdowns. So it was like literally just like whatever we needed. We would just reach out to whatever promoter and be like, hey, I can guarantee 50 tickets. And that was totally a lie too, by the way. I definitely could not guarantee 50 tickets. I did not have that much connections, but we made it work.
Nice. And then like you said, you came in as a vocalist for that band, that one band, but like originally you were what, guitar player, right? That was your love. And then what was
Yeah.
it that like you just what kind of drew you over to transition to vocals?
Well, honestly, it really started when nobody else wanted to do it. Like, that was it. Like, nobody wanted to do, vocals. Everybody wanted to play guitar, and I was like, guys, we can't be in a band with 4 guitarists. Somebody has to sing, somebody has to play bass, somebody has to drum. Like we have to. It can't just be that. Like, it doesn't make sense. And they were like, all right, well then you sing if you want then. And I was like, okay, I guess. So I just kind of fell into it.
So like that viral video that kind of got you noticed that you took down now. What was that, like a cover that you did or something, or what kind of caught
Yeah,
people's eyes that was like, hey, this guy, we should give him a shot as our singer?
I covered one of their songs. I covered
Oh shit! What
Sarcasm.
the hell just happened, dude? Are you freaking kidding me?
Oh, what's going on?
Whoops. All right, can you hear me,
Yeah, I can hear you.
dude? So I I don't know if we should start all over on a new thing, or because I don't know how to fucking edit this shit, and I think it was streaming out straight
Okay.
to YouTube. Um, So we're gonna have like that big delay that my computer decided to reboot on me. But
Okay.
I know I'll be able to edit the audio when we put the audio out and just cut all that
Right.
shit out. But yeah, I don't know what the hell happened. I just put a new like card in it for
Oh.
the other day or whatever, and it's supposed to help make it all faster. And I don't know what happened. Anyway, where were we?
um, you had just asked about uh, the video I did that went viral for Get Scared.
Yeah. Okay. And then like how did vocals like kind of work out for you or whatever? Or are you just still kind of growing as you go as a vocalist?
Well, so I would say it's a constant growth. It's I think especially from like when I started, because I kind of was just like pushed into it. It's turned more into a thing that I love doing now. It's actually fun for me. So that's why like when I quit my last band, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna just do it all myself because I've never done that before. So in this band, I write all the music. Um, well, I write 98% of the music, and all the lyrics and melodies and vocals are me.
All right. Yeah. So your last band before this one, was that the Beyond Unbroken?
Yes. Yeah, that was my last band.
And then like let's talk about like the beginning of that, how that came together for you.
Oh, yeah. It's actually really interesting. So the singer of that band used to be in Escape the Fate as the guitarist. And one day on like Twitter, he posted, if there's any guitarists out there who could keep up with me, send them my way. So I sent them my friend Maddie Hoffman, who is the guitarist for my band, The Black Hollow. And and Maddie is literally like one of the greatest guitarists in the world right now. And so once I sent that, he like flew Maddie out instantly, and like they hit it off. And Maddie was like, "Hey, I'm not like the biggest Escape the Fate fan, but I know a guy, me, that is." Because like I loved that band so much in high school. So he was like, "So if you want his opinion, a fan's opinion on stuff, he can come out." And so they invited me out, and we hung out, and they'd asked me like my opinions on songs, and I was kind of just like, well, do you want like my honest opinions like as like a writer, or do you kind of want like the soft blow? And they're like, just tell us what you think. And I was like, all right, well, if I'm being honest, that song sucks, that song sucks, that song's a hit, that one's okay. And I think they were just like flabbergasted that like this kid just said my song sucked. Because like I was like 19. And so they kind of just kept in touch, and then they started writing and recording for their EP. And they were asking like if I knew any producers, and I recommended them to Matt Good, because Maddie and myself had just recorded with him. Matt Good from the band From First to Last. And we Maddie needed a ride to the studio because he doesn't drive, so obviously I'm going. And like we were just there hanging out, writing together, talking, and like eventually the singer was just like, do you just want to be in the band? Can you play anything? Can you kind of play bass? You can kind of play bass. Cool, you're in the band. And so that's really how that started. And then the name just came from us like in the studio, like talking. I think Monty wanted it to be called just Unbroken, but then Maddie misheard him and was like, "Did you say Beyond Unbroken? That's kind of cool." And it kind of just stuck.
Nice. And then so you're playing in that with those guys for a little while, and then like what was it that kind of led you to wanting to pursue your own thing and not working kind of with the band?
Yeah. Well, so I was in that band for like 5 years, and I'd actually wanted to quit that band. Like, I'd say after 2 years, because I wasn't really happy anymore in it. But I stuck around because like they were my boys, and they were there for me in like a time I really needed it, and we had a great. Yeah, Monty and myself, we worked really well together writing music. But it was really apparent really fast that they were it's just a huge personality difference, like I have a lot of like mental issues, like I suffer from depression and anxiety, and you know that's why like I'm rocking back and forth right now, because I'm just full of anxiety. But they're definitely not that. They're like, and this is just how their brain works, and so I don't judge them, but in their mind, depression isn't a disease, if that makes sense. They're just like, oh, you're just sad, get over it, like this is
Yeah.
fine. And it's like, no, it doesn't really work like that. And so like just years of kind of that, it's just like grinding constantly, and eventually it just got to the point where I couldn't really take it. So I kind of knew, like, when we started writing what was supposed to be the full length record, that like this is going to be the last thing I work on with these guys, and then after it I was going to leave. And then it just kind of escalated. We were shooting videos, we shot like 4 videos just back to back to back, and I was just so tired and going through a lot of like personal issues, and it just kind of led to like this really shitty night. And I was like, guys, like I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore. So we shot the last video, and I was like, I remember telling Michael, because he was going to drop me off back home, I told him like, I don't think you're going to see me again. I think this is it. And that was really it. I just left. I texted the guys like, hey, like I support you guys and everything you do, and I love the music we made together, but I need to do this alone. I can't do this with you guys anymore, and I'm sorry.
Man, okay, yeah, I can relate, man. I'm approaching 50, and I had anxiety issues. I was in the military. I struggle with PTSD, so
Thank you for your
uh
service.
thanks. So and I remember, like, I mean, you're what, in your early 20s?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I remember it, like, for me, going through that stuff in high school and just feeling like an alien and not connecting. And that's when, I got exposed to drugs and alcohol. And that was, my escape and numbing for so long. And now I'm 13 years sober, but you still got to learn how to live in your own head. And I, even today, it's like, I have some friends that mean well, that I train jujitsu with and stuff like that, like feel the same, or in the military, it's just like, oh, just throw some dirt on it and keep going, suck it up.
Yeah.
We don't have time for depression and anxiety and stuff, and that sucks, not feeling like anybody can relate and understand. But part of me doing this podcast is kind of for myself to face my, I guess, social anxiety and stuff, and start learning how to communicate normally with people again, because, I don't drink anymore. I don't go for the crutches. I have to learn to, but so, dude, I get it. I feel you, man. So I just want to reassure you too, you're not alone, in
Thank
this
you.
journey. And I guess music is your way of expressing and getting out what's going on in your head. I get all the crazy things that bounce around in our heads, and it's just like, and then you're like, I have friends that are just like, they can't, they're more concerned about the Cleveland Browns than the state of the world,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
like, what the hell's wrong with you? I can't understand it, but I don't know. It's good to find like-minded people, and just know that we're not walking alone with this. And anyway, I guess that's my TED talk on depression for you.
Yeah.
You're not by yourself, dude. So,
Thank you.
but I mean, and it's easy to, it's cool that you're working to by yourself on music and stuff, but don't ever like completely isolate yourself, because we do need to like stay surrounded by community and stuff. I know what the voice in the head have told me multiple times in the past, and thankfully I'm still here because I reached out and talked to people. But
oh, definitely.
So you leave the band there. You start. I guess, is that when Eerie Weather started for you?
Yeah. So like after I left the band, I kind of like I really needed time to like just reflect on me, because like I said, I was like that was the darkest time of my life. Like I was so depressed and just out of it, and I was like, I don't even think I want to do music anymore. I think I'm gonna retire and just step away. And it took like a good year, and then I kind of just started picking up the guitar and writing again. And I was like, well, like I got some cool songs here, and they were different. Like also, like I didn't want to write sad music or anything like that. Like I wanted to try to do something different, something I never done before. And I always wanted to start a pop punk band. Like that was something I'd wanted to do since I was a kid. Like I grew up loving like Blink-182 and Good Charlotte and Sum 41 and New Found Glory. And I was like, but I could never, like every time I picked up a guitar, it just sounded sad. So I was like, I'm gonna just try and write something different for once. And then I reached out to a couple friends. I started dating a new girl who I'm still with. And like she had a roommate who played guitar, and I was like, hey, like I know this isn't really your thing, but you want to like help me record a guitar, because like I'm not very good at recording guitar. Like I've never been very good at recording guitar. I like playing it, I like writing, but I'm not a really great guitar player. And he was like, sure. And then I reached out to a friend of mine, Cam, to drum on just this cover I wanted to do. And then we went to this guy Triangle to record it, and it really kicked off. Like we had such a good time, like just hanging out and vibing off one another, that I was like, all right, like let's record like an actual song now, like because that was just a cover. Let me try to like do something that's just ours now. And so I went and recorded my first single with them, I'm in Trouble, and we got this guy Stefan to play on the drums, and I was just like, this dude's like the greatest drum player I've ever seen. What? And so I was like, do you guys just want to be my backing band? Like, do you guys just want to just be there with me? Because this is awesome. Like, I love you guys. You guys are super chill, like-minded, and you're just fantastic musicians, and we work super well together. And so it's really how that began. Like, these guys literally can take what is in my brain that I am super bad at describing and just being like, oh yeah, we get you, and succeed on all levels.
That's awesome. And then so like what like I was busting your chops at the beginning of this about Eerie Weather and stuff, but what inspired that name for you?
So this actually goes back to my last band, because there was a point when we were recording the record that they wanted to change their name. And so like that's always kind of been my forte, is like coming up with names and one-liners. And so I was like, okay, like I'll just write stuff down. And I had the word weather a lot in it, because I just thought it's a cool word. And then once I quit that band, I just kind of like was thinking of like, okay, like if I'm gonna start another project, what am I gonna call it? And there was this weird like one-off band. They put out like one EP, and they were called the Eries. And I was listening to it, and I was like, Eerie Weather sounds pretty cool. That sounds like it could be like a person or a band. I'm gonna take it. And like I looked up everywhere. I was like, Spotify, no. Apple Music, no. YouTube, no. Facebook, no. Nobody has that. Not one person. Mine now. Boop, saved.
Nice. And then we kind of got connected through my friend Chris Bianchi, but like how did you get connected with Chris?
Chris and I kind of go back a little bit. He used to So my buddy Matty Hoffman, who I used to be in tons of bands with, he's now in Escape the Fate. He was at the time in this band, Dead Girls Academy, and then later Vampires Everywhere. And I don't know if he still is, but Chris was managing them at the time, and so and Matty recommended him to Beyond Unbroken, and so we worked with him there. And then once I branched off into my solo thing, I was just like, hey, like, do you want to help me out too? And so he's been the guy that really helps me out with PR, and whenever I have any questions on anything music related, especially like marketing, I always go to him because he's a genius and really like-minded.
Yeah, he totally is, man. And I was gonna say he's like a walking, book on music, and he has a book. So, so I'm impressed every time I talk with him. Like when he was in Forever in Terror, like I remember I used to do concert promotions, and I had him on one of my shows. But that was back when, like at my, I was dabbling in drugs and alcohol and stuff. So obviously I wasn't the most successful on that end, but he, he was, and he stayed the path and stayed disciplined, and he's doing great things, man. And I'm really, happy for him. And just, it's really cool to look back now. I mean, I guess my path was to do something like this, but to see people doing the things that I thought I wanted to do, and sometimes I'm like, man, I don't think I would be able to handle that. I don't know if I really want to deal with half that stuff. It's like I struggle dealing with just people in general sometimes, and
dude, that's relatable.
Yeah. So but he's awesome, dude. I'm happy that I formed a friendship with him now after all these years, and definitely gotta go down there and shoot some BB guns with him or something. But so he's helped you out, and he got us connected for this. And what else are you guys like working on right now? I mean, do you have a full length you're putting out, or?
So we're gonna be putting out an EP. The original date was supposed to be in October, but I'm thinking I'm gonna have to push it back to like January, because I am being a very weird perfectionist about it. But it's great news that I'm pushing it back to January because one, it's going to sound better, and two, it'll probably have another 1 or 2 songs on it. So yeah, it'll be 7 to 8 songs. So
nice. And then I when I was reading, I was reading through what the brief bio you sent me, and then of course I started digging for more stuff. Real quick, how did the nickname Damn It Damon come to be?
dude, honestly, that's just what everybody has said to me literally my whole life. Like just just literally anything, just my grandfather was, damn it Damon, damn it boy. And then like my mom just would be like, anytime I'd be in trouble, damn it Damon. And then even like my bandmates who like literally would never had met my parents or my grandparents or anybody, they just anytime they'd be like, God damn it Damon, why? So I was like, you know what? I'm taking it. That's mine. I guess that's just me.
Yeah, I guess something that could be like negative connotations and kind of feeding negativity in your head, but I guess when you like take it and own it, transform it, and it doesn't have power, I guess, over you anymore,
Right. I mean, NoFX has Fat Mike, so Eerie Weather has Damn It Damon.
There you go. And then when you sent me the couple paragraphs describing yourself in your project, to me there was a quote saying, I love people I work with, but at end of the day, if they don't want to be here, they don't have to. And I read that and I'm just like, why is that in there in your write-up? I mean, I know you're I guess you're being honest, but at the same time it's like reading that before getting to know you and knowing what that we struggle with a lot of the same stuff. it's almost like, man, this guy sounds like a narcissist. It's tough to work with, you know?
I, I'm sure there's somebody out there that I've worked with that would say that. But no, it's just, it honestly, it comes from a place of love. Like it really does. Like, I love my bandmates so much. I wouldn't want them to ever leave. But at the same time, I kind of look at this project like in a way that Panic at the Disco or Falling in Reverse is. It's, at the end of the day, Ronnie Radke's the only person that needs to be in Falling in Reverse for it to be Falling in Reverse. Brendan Urie is the only one that needs to be in Panic at the Disco for it to be Panic at the Disco. And this project really isn't any different. Like, if those guys decided like, hey, this just isn't for me anymore, I don't want to do this project, like, I'd be like, damn, dude, that sucks, but like, I wish the best for you. When contracts come around, I'll be the one to put my name on the line to do it. I wouldn't want those guys to ever have anything to do that, like, unless they really wanted to. But like I said, like, at the end of the day, these are my songs. I'm writing a majority of this, and I have final say on everything. And if they don't want to do it, they really don't have to. So I definitely could see where it could come across as just like, screw these guys, it's just me. But it really isn't that. It's really a place of love. Like, I love them. I want them to be here. But if they ever want to leave, they can.
Okay, gotcha. Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, like reading it, you kind of like, you don't know what context it's under. So,
definitely.
I don't know, just, I guess, constructive criticism or whatever, now, if they didn't get a chance to talk to you like I have and understand where you're coming from, I don't know. But, it kind of, I guess, relates to the one track that I was checking out on your Bandcamp, Loner. I mean, it sounds like that's pretty much, your theme or whatever, huh? Much rather, work alone. Is it, I mean, obviously self, when you're writing this, trying to explain, yourself, or just tell me what was that, the inspiration with that song?
Well, I get dance. Honestly, that was the first song that I wrote when I left Beyond Unbroken. And I was so just like bitter, and I was just like, I don't want to work with anybody, like, because like it's hard to explain for people that like haven't been in bands or in group situations, like, but it's a working with other artists is always super difficult because every guy wants a say in what's going to happen, and especially in a situation in a band where there isn't necessarily a leader, right? Like, it's good to have a leader because the leader says, no, I don't want to do that, we're not doing that, that sounds cool though, and when you're in a band that's full of 3 leaders, doesn't know, like, that just doesn't sound like a good recipe, and that's really what that comes from. And that's kind of like how I've led this project as well. Like, I don't want to do that ever again, because it's just like everybody thinks they're right, everybody thinks that their part is essential to the song and that their direction is right. And so I don't want to deal with like big personalities like that anymore. I would much rather take the songs that I love and gamble on myself. And if my buddies have a cool idea, like if Stefan the drummer has like a cool drum part, I will literally message in the group chat, oh, that's awesome, or oh, that needs to be taken out, that's not good. And because they're my songs and it's my direction, it gets done. And sometimes I could be right and sometimes I could be wrong.
Gotcha. And then what I really enjoyed about checking out the Bandcamp and that song in particular is like the art. It was like, I'm a real big comic book nerd, growing up. So I like the whole like comic book cover design that you did for that. Or I don't know, was that you, or did you have an artist that does that for you? Or
well, I came up with the concept design for it, but I found this really cool artist. I think her name's like _ Trang. something. I can't remember. But I found her on Instagram and I just like messaged her and I was like, hey, like, would you ever be interested in making cover art? And she was like, sure. So I sent her that and she just made it looks perfect. And that's really how I find a lot of like artists. I think in, Instagram in particular is a really underutilized tool for finding artists of that nature, because there's always so many that have commissions open. And once you get that all agreed upon, like it's super easy and it beats trying to find somebody on like Fiverr who's going to be like, all right, well, for this picture, it's going to be $500 and you can use it for some things, but not all things. Opposed to like somebody on Instagram who's like, yeah, I'll do it for like $70 and just tag me.
Nice. And then, so you said January you'll have the EP hopefully coming out.
Yes.
What other kind of goals do you have going forward for the band, the project?
I definitely want us to play shows. Like I think we have a show lined up for December that I can't really talk about other than we're playing a show in December. But I would love to do a mini tour next year. I think that would be super awesome. Just a couple cities in the West Coast, a couple cities in the East Coast. I think that would be the ideal plan.
Gotcha. Well, man, I'm sorry about the technical difficulties we had earlier, but if you got a couple more minutes, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions that I normally ask guests I have on here.
Yeah, man, shoot.
Is there a song that you feel has like inspired you in life, or like is a go-to for you for like some days when you're just really down and it picks you up, it's like a regular on a playlist for you?
Oh man. Probably Nirvana, Heart-Shaped Box.
Nice. And then what class do you feel should be mandatory before graduating high school today?
I think a class that should be mandatory is understanding of finances.
That is the top one that like everybody says when I ask that one on here. And
yeah, they don't talk about it. Like it's just like maybe if you get lucky, you'll have one teacher that'll do like a class on it for like a day, and then they're like, okay, that's as much as we can do. Sorry.
Yeah, they don't tell you about the tax system or the
yeah,
any of that stuff. So I've definitely pushed that on my daughters as much as they're willing to listen. But who are 3 people who've inspired you or you can credit for making you the person you are today?
Ooh. My dad, my mom, my girlfriend.
Nice. And then any causes or organizations that you support and encourage others to check out?
Oh my God. There's Big Cat Rescue is one that I love a lot. There's Heritage Cat and Dog Rescue that mean a lot. And a couple others right now that I can't remember.
Gotcha. And then favorite toy as a child?
Ooh, that is a very great question. I had this Power Rangers Megazord. That was awesome. It was detachable, and so you can have all of the regular Ranger Zords, and you put it together, and you can like morph it into the Megazord. It was awesome.
Cool. And then Any message that you have for our military members that are currently serving overseas?
You are all appreciated, and thank you for your service. You are the bravest and best of us. And you got family waiting for you. And if you don't have family, you got friends and people care about you.
Awesome, man. Thank you. And then if anybody that's in the audience checking you out today and wants to support your projects and what you have, what's coming up with Eerie Weather, and or wants to know more about the band, where would you send them?
Send them over to Instagram at Eerie Weather, all one word. But it's that on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Awesome. And well, thanks for being patient, and I'm glad we were able to make this happen and get you on here today to talk. Sorry about the whole mix up with my computer rebooting in the middle of this. Hopefully the audience can fast forward through that part, because I don't know how to. I'm still new to all this stuff. I mean, I could do audio editing, but video, haven't figured that out yet. Sure, maybe I could chop it or something in YouTube Creator or something like that.
Actually, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think they have a little like chop button that you can make that happen.
Cool. I'll have to do that, because right now it was streaming live. So, but yeah. But anyway, Damon, thanks for your time, man, and good talking to you. Like I said, man, there's like-minded people out there. We just gotta stay connected and keep finding healthy ways to express ourselves, I guess.
Definitely. And hey, thank you so much for interviewing me today and taking your time, and I greatly appreciate it.
All right, man, no problem. You take care.
You as well. All right. Bye.